was the idea of sexual assault coaxed, nursed, and enticed into the mind of the hurt, confused, vindictive, assumed victim. Find out now on Malicious Prosecution, Part 2. In Eligio Bishop's quest into going more deeper into spirituality, not only did he open up and share his life publicly, but also privately. He never asked anyone to enter his personal and private life. Simply, he put his beliefs and his thoughts on social media, and some who agreed with his views actually asked to join him on his journey to live a more holistic life in tune with the earth. With Eligio's pure intent to show the world a healthier lifestyle, the disadvantages of letting strangers into his life were ignored, leaving Eligio put to blame for everyone's problems. Not only did he take on the burden of other people's problems in his personal and private life, he also had to deal with the harassment of what we call his online critics on social media. There are certain people who harass Eligio by making him seem like a bad person. They take his videos out of context and create hate groups that swat him. Swatting is the action or practice of making a prank call to emergency services in an attempt to bring about the dispatch of a large number of armed police officers to a particular address. Let's briefly go over the various countries in Central America where Mr. Bishop was swatted by his online critics. The first time happening in Palenque, Mexico.
So the Mexican federales pull up at the door. They got the guns on their hip and they at the gate asking to come in to do an interview. And so we like, come on in. They come through the crib. I didn't make their job hard. I didn't tell them like, no, you can't come in here. I don't have anything to hide. Come on in. Welcome yourself. You want something to drink? They interviewing us. Right?
I will ask the name from everyone, and I will ask you if you are here on the How old are you, my friend?
25.
25.
Eligio Bishop.
Eligio Bishop.
Velvet Marquez.
Velvet Marquez.
Portia Wade.
How old?
31.
31. You look younger.
Kayla Buckner.
Okay, there is about this investigation. We need to know if you guys are here. If anybody is pushing you to be here, obligated to be here. If you guys go leave anytime you decide. Are you free to decide to stay or to leave?
Yes. I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Les pregunté que si podían estar aquí por su cuenta, si que podían decidir quedarse o irse, y todos dijeron que sí.
Listen, I want to say something. No, I want to say something. Everybody keeps talking about me holding people hostage. These people are holding me hostage, okay?
Dice que ellos son los que nos tienen.
They holding me hostage.
No él a ellos. Ayuden a él.
We don't have anything to hide here. I don't have any. My life is public. They took pictures of all the passports. Everything is stamped. Everything is up to date. No one's here illegal.
Here's documentation the federal police left after a thorough investigation took place. Mr. Bishop was also swatted in Nicaragua, Panama, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico, where he was arrested, investigated, and eventually released. The most time he spent arrested was 3 weeks in Nicaragua, and that was only because we didn't speak Spanish. Each time that we were released, we were then deported back to the States. We were also swatted in the United States. The online critics found Eligio Bishop's address in Decatur, Georgia, and the police were at our home almost every day. The online critics sent a flood of phone calls to the DeKalb County Police, sending an alarming amount of falsified information. Though the police are limited in what they can do about these calls, they still have to investigate. These numerous amount of calls only provided the DeKalb County Police with the fact that everyone was safe and consenting adults, free to leave at any time. The following will show an actual example of the wellness checks that took place via a police body camera.
I can go upstairs too.
If everybody's okay, everybody's here on their own free will. Hey, y'all. What's going on, ladies?
Nothing, just came back from the grocery store.
I know. Is everything okay? How many times have we been out here?
50.
Oh,
Right, okay. This is my first time out here. I'm Sergeant Moffitt. Someone keeps calling. Our thing is when we get a call that supposedly there's illegal activity going here, that you ladies are being held against your will, and there's there's drug trafficking, and there's people being held here against their will. I just explained to the last person that called, I have no idea who it is, that we've been out here a bunch of times.
Inside.
We've been inside. You ladies don't seem in any distress. Seem like you're coming and going as you please. You want to be here. Everybody, how old are you?
25.
Okay, you're 24, 25, however old you guys are. You're adults. You want to be here. Feel safe here. You come and go. We've been out here 1,000,001 times. We'll try and curb as much as we can when people call now. I don't know who the people are that call.
So it's probably like always the same person.
And I didn't know because I had never been here before. But then when I started listening on his phone conversation, I was like, we've been out here on day watch during the daytime, and I usually work that shift. So that's how I was like, is this Nature Boy's house?
Yeah.
And they were like, the lady was like, yeah. And I was like, we've been out here.
At least y'all know and are informed.
Yes.
He had a post there saying that those were his prostitutes and he was their pimp.
What's this guy name?
Huh?
What's this guy name?
Eligio Bishop.
Okay. All right, because now that I'm looking at the house, I've been here before.
Okay.
And you're not the first person I called, so they said they was fine in this house. All the girls, everybody said they was fine and they wasn't being held to their will. Actually, when I came last time, they had a car and they was driving by themselves. It wasn't like he was in the car and anything.
Kind of am trying to see if they can leave the house or the human trafficking will dispatch, because it is happening in the house.
Okay, have you talked to, I know I've done a report at this location in reference to what you called and that. Have you talked to the detectives and the Special Victims Unit?
I have reported it, but yes, I probably should. You said detectives of the Special Victims.
Special Victims, as uniform officers, we can just come up and we can do reports.
The goal for the online critics was to get Mr. Bishop in some sort of trouble with the police. In contrast to Central America, in the United States, a serious charge must take place for them to SWAT and detain anyone. Once they found out that their calls weren't going as planned, notice that the officers referred the critics to the Special Victims Detectives Unit, who were also a part of the online critics' crime. They used the opportunity of the alleged victim's departure as a means to officially detain Eligio Bishop. These are the charges they used to have him swatted, arrested, and investigated. They needed a charge, which is why Gregory Moore stated,
I think we got a pretty good case here. I mean, really, I do. But it all, for now, comes down to you. Because if you saddle and prosecute, I mean, we've got enough.
They needed the alleged victim to prosecute on some kind of charge, so they could come in and SWAT Mr. Bishop and investigate to find something to put on him. There was never a rape charge. However, they needed this to pursue with the swatting and investigation. So how did this all start? Well, first we need to understand the intention and the motive on why this is happening, which is because the alleged victim couldn't be Mr. Bishop's queen, which she vocally expressed in the interview she does with Chantel Coleman, also known as the T, one of Mr. Bishop's biggest online critics. This interview was conducted around March 31st, 2022, 1 week after the alleged victim decided to depart from Mr. Bishop's life. As the interview is playing, there will be pauses for commentary to highlight key statements in this interview. Listen closely while the alleged victim tells you exactly what happened that night and why she left.
What happened that prompted you leaving Carbonation?
I'll tell you exactly what happened when I left Carbonation.
Notice here, she's not saying why she left. She's explaining the events leading up to her leaving.
Basically, he didn't hit me.
Right here, the alleged victim says that Mr. Bishop did not put his hands on her. She was simply having an altercation with the woman.
But I was hit by Zoka, Eferu, and Shiva did push me and nudge me and was getting up in my face as well.
If she was assaulted by the woman, why didn't she file a report on them? Let's continue.
The reason why this happened is because they feel as if I was being disrespectful to him by giving him a face.
After she explains the sequence of events leading up to her leaving, she now explains why she left. Listen closely.
And one of the reasons why I left is because...
Also notice, she's explaining why she left. I've never heard of someone who's been falsely imprisoned explaining why they left. That statement alone shows that there was a choice. Let's see why she left.
Y'all don't know. When he was trying to do the queen thing, there wasn't going to be a new queen. It was all an act.
Notice she says that it was all an act. This shows that everything that we were doing online at that time was scripted. Let's continue.
At first it wasn't. I'm thinking that I actually have a chance to like prove that, okay, well I can definitely, you know, take the queen thing and really do something positive with the cult. But nah, he was like, it was never going to be that way. He said that it's going to be Queen Malia, queen. She's going to remain the queen after the court thing. And I'm going to be her servant, meaning I'm going to be her caddy. I do everything for her. And for a day or two, I was her servant. And I'm going to be her servant. And I'm going to kiss her feet in front of the whole world. And then I'm going to claim the name Sophia, because people was calling me again and forgot that I was renamed Sophia. So that was the plan. And I wasn't really always okay with it, but I tried to be okay with it because I tried to think of the bigger picture about how he's saying he's about to adorn Malia and make her the queen and show how a black woman should be treated and, you know, make her the face of Carbonation. And I'm just like, all right, well, I can sacrifice, you know, me really feeling like I could do it for her to take the shine. But in my heart, I didn't really feel like that's what I wanted to do, because he said, and you're going to be in the background. And when he said that, it triggered me, because I'm like, I'm not made to be in the background, yo. I know that about myself. I'm not made to be behind nobody. That and I shine really bright. He wanted me to dress her up every day, you know, with the fashion that I got, all the clothes that I brought. He wanted me to do everything for her. Anything that she wanted, I was supposed to do for her. And when I really thought about it, after seeing that they didn't really respect me or cared for me at all, they just said, oh, you just brought the fashion, without even recognizing that that's not all I did. You know what I'm saying? I realized that they don't love me like I really love them, and I want to go. And so after some time of just sitting there, and everybody got up and left, and they told me just to sit there, I felt really excluded at that point. Like they didn't forgive me for anything I did.
Notice she's asking for forgiveness. Forgiveness for what? For leaving Mr. Bishop's life and defaming his character, and then eventually apologizing and coming back.
I can't help what I feel. I can't help that I'm constantly thinking about going back.
now that you see how Baba G is as an individual, because he really is a sweet man. He cares about you women a lot. He is a cool dude. Was the lie worth it? Or do you really regret lying on him like that?
I always knew he was a cool dude. Like, that was always in my heart. Like, I knew people seen him as a different way online, but I'm just trying to right my wrongs, you know what I'm saying? And be here for the cause.
And I'm not a victim. I know I did it to myself, so I can't even point and blame nobody.
Let's continue.
So at this point, I'm more hurt than angry.
Notice that she's using words like I was triggered and I was hurt. She's completely being vulnerable and open to one of Mr. Bishop's biggest online critics. Chantel Coleman is going to use her weakness to coax her into pressing false charges on Mr. Bishop.
Because I ain't had time for it. So I pack up my stuff and I'm looking for an Uber at this point. And I'm sad at this point. I'm real sad because I really thought they liked me and they didn't. They was just faking the whole time. I'm like, nah, I want to leave now. And he's like, okay, well, you know, are you calling your Uber or whatever? I'm doing that right. I told them I'm doing that right now. And even Aya said, oh, stop being self-pity and just do the work. I'm like, nah, I don't want to be here no more. Like, that shit is dead. It's done. I don't want to be here no more. Even though I truly, in my heart, I wanted to stay with the group and the family.
Let's be clear that she didn't want to leave. She's telling everyone in the house that she wants to go when she's calling the Uber. But truly, in her heart, she wanted to stay with the family.
I call my Uber. I call up a friend. Actually, I text a friend. And she said that I can stay at her place or whatever, art studio for the night. So I got the Uber and I started to make my exit.
Okay, so at this point, she got her Uber. She's about to walk out of the door. What happens next?
And the girls are snatching a charger, my nigga. A charger out of my hand saying, oh, is that your charger? Did you came with this charger? I said, no, I didn't come with this one, but I came with a charger and I can't find it because people have been using it. I don't know where it is at. So they snatched the charger out my hand. I'm like, did Baba G tell you to do this? So I was going to go upstairs to go to Baba G. Queen Malia comes out and tells me to go back downstairs. And I'm just like, Baba G would have never treated me like this.
Wait. Pause. So she's about to walk out the door. The women snatch a charger out of her hand. Instead of walking out that door to her Uber, she goes upstairs to Baba G because what? He would never treat me like this. If Baba G knew I was leaving, he would try to talk to me and beg me to stay. But I'm leaving and y'all are just snatching a charger out of my hand? Oh no, I'm going upstairs to Baba G.
Oh, this is just jealous. I'm just thinking that in my mind. Like, so I just started going at this point.
She started going at this point because Queen Malia told her to go back downstairs when she tried to go talk to Baba G.
I didn't make no problem. I ain't caused no issue. I ain't cussed them out. Nothing. I just said I'm going. And I'm rolling my shit out the door at this point with my shoes off. And I'm getting to the car. And that's when they said, Baba G is calling you. Will you answer the call?
This part got misconstrued. It was blasted all over the news that Mr. Bishop called her back inside when she was trying to leave. That's not what happened. After Queen Malia told her to go downstairs, when she was going into her Uber, the woman then told Baba G that she was leaving and that she tried to speak with him, but we told her to leave. After he was aware of this, he let us know that it was okay for her to come up. So we yell out the window that Baba G was calling her, and she proceeded to come back inside.
So I go back inside. To tell him bye. And I hug him and he says, I love you. And I said, I love you too.
So at this point, they're hugging. They're saying, I love each other. It is a romantic scene. When she said that Baba G would have never treated me like this, when the women snatched the charger out of her hand, this is what she's saying Baba G would treat her like. And if you're leaving because Mr. Bishop told someone to hit you, Why would you go back inside to say goodbye? And why would you state that Baba G will never treat me like this? Because that's not what happened, and that's not why she left. She left because she couldn't be the queen of Carbon Nation. Let's continue.
And that's when he started taking me into the other room. And I said, no, stop. Like, I really gotta go at this point. Like, then my Uber's outside.
I know that part of the interview sounds crazy where she says, no, stop, my Uber's outside. But mind you, she's saying all of these things and that she wants to go. But remember, truly in her heart, she wanted to stay with the group and the family. And this isn't a hostile moment. They're saying I love each other. They're crying and hugging. So when she's saying these things, it's not in a way of she's being forced to do something. Because right after she says that she stated that her Uber was outside to Mr. Bishop, all of a sudden they're in the other room. So although she's saying these things, her energy is moving in a totally different way. There's no resistance in her energy. She's playing a role so that Baba G can beg her to stay, which is what she knew he would do. Which is why she stated that Baba G would never treat me like this when the women responded hostile when she was leaving. Baba G would give her love and tell her to stay if she was leaving. Let's continue.
So he takes me into the other room and I start crying in his arms. Because I don't know, I was just emotional. Everything was just like piling up on me. The Uber done left me, so I felt like I was trapped there again.
She stated that she felt like she was trapped there again. Remember, she's being interviewed by Chantel Coleman, one of Mr. Bishop's biggest online critics. So of course she has to say it in a way that keeps the attention of this specific audience. Because remember, truly in her heart, she wanted to stay. So how was she trapped there? Let's continue.
I was like, oh my God, like, I just missed the Uber, like, and he's telling me, I'm not gonna let you go. You know, you're my bitch, you're my property.
One question. If you get your lover's name tatted on you, could you figuratively say that you feel as though that you're their property? And remember, Mr. Bishop isn't saying these things in an aggressive and forceful manner. This is still a romantic love scene. You can tell by what she says next.
Telling him, like, you're gonna have to let me go. I'm telling him, you're gonna have to let me go. He's like, you think I can't let you go? And at this point, I'm looking at him in the eyes. And
once again, she describes the scene. They're both looking at each other in the eyes. Does this sound like a violent or forceful moment? Let's continue.
Me being dumb, I got manipulated back in. Literally, like, I couldn't resist him in that moment. In that moment, I was really vulnerable, and he knew exactly what to say to me to help have me stay there with him. And yeah, we did make love in that moment.
She clearly states that her and Mr. Bishop made love.
The Uber done left. And my friend is calling me like back to back to back, asking me if I'm okay. And I'm just like being a stupid ass, like letting him manipulate me back into the situation and allowing him to have sex with me.
Again, she confesses that she willfully made love with Mr. Bishop.
So at this point, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm stupid as fuck. Because I'm a sucker for fucking love. Like, he knows exactly what to do to get me back. And at this point, in my mind afterwards, I'm telling him I still want to go. And he's like, hurry up and get over that shit and let's go. Like, you wasting time. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a shower. And he's like, okay. So he leaves the room.
At this point, this is the last and final encounter the alleged victim has with Mr. Bishop. She willfully goes back inside. She willfully makes love with Mr. Bishop. After they make love, she says, I still want to go. Mr. Bishop tells her to get over it. Get over the fact that you got into a fight with the girls. Get over it. She then replies to Mr. Bishop, okay, I'm going to go take a shower and then she stated that he left the room. So that's the final encounter that they have. Where is the rape and where is the false imprisonment? Why would Mr. Bishop rape and false imprison someone in his home, commit these severe crimes, and then stay in his home after the alleged victim leaves? Also, if she was assaulted, why didn't she bring that up in the beginning of the interview when she was explaining why she left? Instead, she only spoke of her not being queen. It's clear to see that no crime took place that night. She explained why she left and also stated that her and Mr. Bishop made love. So how did these charges come about? Well, let's go back to our initial question. Was the idea of sexual assault coaxed, nursed, and enticed into the mind of the hurt, confused, vindictive, assumed victim? The answer is yes. Let us go over the definitions of the following words. Coax, to gently and persistently persuade someone to do something. Nurse, to maintain a theory, thoughts, or feelings. And lastly, entice, to persuade someone to do something by offering them something pleasant. The inception of the idea of sexual assault was first presented by Chantel Coleman when she asked the alleged victim,
Do you realize that what he did to you before you left was, do you think that it was truly love making or making love to you? Or do you feel that it was, that it was coercion?
Pay attention to the wordplay. Coleman is telling her what happened to her using manipulation of word. Are you trying to make it something that it's not? She asked her, does she think it was coercion, to do you know that it was coercion, after she already stated that they made love. Let's play it back.
Do you realize that what he did to you before you left was, do you think that it was truly love making or making love to you? Or do you feel that it was, that it was coercion?
An idea is subtly being planted in her mind,
which is pretty much one step down from, sexual abuse.
Now pay attention to the alleged victim's response. She clearly says no to the assault, no to coercion. She's solely focused on the love. Listen closely.
No, I know that it wasn't love because it just felt fake. It just felt like he was acting. And just to keep me, like I'm just some kind of trophy to keep and not, share with the world. It's just, I'm just something to just collect dust on the shelf. And I felt stupid. I felt real dumb because I'm supposed to be this strong ass woman, but I fell right back into it, So yeah, I know it wasn't real. I knew that he was like just having sex to me just to have sex with me so I can stay, thinking all I needed was dick.
The alleged victim explains Mr. Bishop's intention. He had sex with her thinking all she needed was dick. He didn't have sex with her because he wanted to harm or hurt her or make her feel bad, but he was simply giving her something that he thought she needed because it was something she was always inquiring about.
Malia. Yes.
Why did he pick her over you?
Because of the sex. He says the sex is better. Even though I have all the qualifications for being a better woman for him, he says the sex is better, and so he likes sex.
The only reason why she said she wanted to leave after the lovemaking is because he didn't make love to her how he makes love to Queen Malia.
I know that it wasn't love because it just felt fake.
She said, oh, he ain't complimenting her all day. He compliments me all the time. He gives you the most fucking dick. He gives you the most fucking attention. He is fucking disrespectful, bro. You get all the fucking attention, bro. All the fucking love. All of it. Out of all of us.
What I wanted was love, real genuine true love from him and the family forgiveness, and I didn't even get that. So I just wanted to leave at that point.
Here's the real tea. Queen Malia does get all the dick. The other women hardly have sex with Mr. Bishop. It's a privilege. She was upset because it felt fake, and after they made love, Mr. Bishop took a shower and went to sleep with Queen Malia in the other room. After the alleged victim already explained that they made love, Chantel Coleman proceeds to manipulate her with wordplay and coax her into believing that she was assaulted. Pay attention.
I just wanted to go.
Completely understandable. I just want to let the audience know that, guys, I did ask her earlier on in the interview if she was going to go to the authorities and file charges for the assault, that the multiple assaults that have happened to her before she left, and she did say that she was addressing this on her own, and so we have to leave it in her hands and see what happens from there. But she was asked that question already, so guys, please stop saying that she should press charges. We have absolutely let her know that that's what she should do, and I absolutely support you 100% because you were assaulted. I fully support you in that. If that's the route you decide to take, I feel that you should take that route. So please don't feel ashamed to take that route. You have a ton of people out here that will support you if you did decide to do that. You have every right to do that. You have suffered a lot of abuse.
Notice the difference between what the alleged victim says and what Chantel Coleman says. The alleged victim uses words like, "We made love, he didn't hit me, and I allowed him." While Chantel Coleman says, "You were coerced, sexually assaulted, and abused." This idea of sexual coercion was given to the detectives by Chantel Coleman. On Chantel Coleman's YouTube page, you will see a lot of hate and negativity toward Mr. Bishop. But one day she posted a video of the detectives of the Special Victims Unit sending her an email inquiring about her clipped up videos of Mr. Bishop. It reads, "I am Detective Blank with the DeKalb County Police Department. I am reaching out to you and inquiring of your videos you have of Nature Boy. I am aware you have been following this group Carbonation for some time and have interviewed multiple followers who have left the group. I was hoping you would be able to help. I would like to get in contact with those who have left, and if you have any contact with any currently in the home, as well as collect any videos you may have that show abuse, specifically physical abuse. The videos I have seen have not shown specific physical abuse. If you could share any information you have or videos of abuse you have, I would greatly appreciate it. I will need some information from you as well. I would appreciate it if at this time you will leave our conversation private so that we can continue to collect information before Nature Boy becomes aware." DeKalb County Police Department. 7 days later, after the alleged victim does the interview with the T, she then calls Detective Gregory Moore and Monica Panosian to press false charges on Mr. Bishop. But Chantel Coleman and the detectives have been talking for a long time now. These aren't just regular detectives coming to do an investigation. No, these two criminals have a malicious intent towards Mr. Bishop. At this part of the interview, you will see that this was some sort of setup or arrangement, because without the alleged victim even saying Mr. Bishop's name, the detectives knew exactly why they were there.
The Uber's outside, and I try to go upstairs to say bye to the king, and I'm just going to call him the king because that's the subject to
Nature Boy.
Nature Boy. Yeah, Nature Boy.
I've seen several videos.
Oh my God. Thank God someone knows what I'm talking about.
We're a little familiar.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. All right, so I can just talk normal now. Okay.
Then the alleged victim proceeds to explain that night with Mr. Bishop as lovemaking. The first time that the alleged victim stated that her and Mr. Bishop made love was at 3 minutes and 58 seconds into the interview. Let's listen.
And that's when then he made love to me.
The next time the alleged victim explains that her and Mr. Bishop make love is 14 minutes and 2 seconds into the interview.
He's looking me in my eyes and telling me this and that and the third. We make love.
Once the alleged victim confessed that her and Mr. Bishop made love, the coaxing, nursing, and enticing begins with the detectives. At this point in the interview, Detective Gregory Moore starts to express his malicious intent to lock Mr. Bishop up.
Let me explain how I come to find out about this. This is probably 2 months ago, maybe 6-7 weeks ago. I get a phone call from this Hispanic lady, and she's very hard to understand, but ended up what happened was she lived in Chicago with her son. Her son caught up with this guy online, got sucked in, but she hadn't been able to get a hold of her son in like a year and a half. And so she was trying to report him missing. She found out through, because I know there's a lot of people that make videos on this guy because they're trying to, you know, out him for being a clown and all this. And that's, you know, and she initially saw these videos and she told her son, what are you doing? But so she told me to look these videos, so I looked up, that's when I started watching these videos, and I'm in awe of what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So the first one I look at is, he's at the top of the staircase talking, and then he's got those guys, there's I guess 6 or 8 males down there, and he tells them to look up, down, and up. So anyways, but the point of me watching that video, her son was there, kind of like a Hispanic kid with
with locks.
Yeah. So that's how I got familiar with that.
Yeah.
And I would just watch videos, not believing what the hell I was seeing.
Yeah.
And another detective was familiar because I showed him these videos. He's like, he's been trying to get this Nature Boy for a minute because of some things he's seen online. And yeah, here you are.
The detective is nursing the idea that Mr. Bishop is a bad person and needs to be locked up. He tells the alleged victim that they've been trying to get this Nature Boy for a minute and goes on to say, now here you are, as to say she is the final key to meet their goal of getting him arrested. After this, the detective continues to coax the alleged victim into pressing charges on Eligio Bishop.
I think we've got a pretty good case here. I mean, really, I do. But it all, for now, comes down to you. Because if you saddle and prosecute, I mean, we've got nothing.
He blatantly tells her that if she doesn't want to prosecute, that they have nothing. They needed her to prosecute on some kind of serious charge so they could come in and swat Mr. Bishop to investigate in hopes to find something on him. Mr. Bishop has been locked up for so long because they can't find anything. So now they're trying to create something.
Yeah. This guy needs to be jammed up. He needs to go.
I think he needs to put in a mental hospital so he can get help.
Well, they got that in prison.
Yeah, I want that.
Okay. But here's the thing, and I understand you've still got feelings for him, okay? And I get that. But he's not a good man.
I thought he was.
Wait a second. When the detective said that he's not a good man, the alleged victim immediately said he isn't? And she was going to say, I thought he was, but she said, I thought he used to be. And then Detective Gregory Moore and Monica Panosian continued to coax and encourage her to press charges on Mr. Bishop. These two detectives were in cahoots with Chantel Coleman, which is why you are about to witness why they were so adamant about coaxing her to believe that Mr. Bishop is a bad man.
But he's not a good man.
I thought he was.
Well,
he might have used to be. You know, it's one of those things.
He
maybe
knew
the power.
what he was doing.
Yeah.
He's been knowing what he's doing. Okay, he's like probably, I mean, the biggest narcissist I think I can ever remember actually seeing.
Yeah.
And to thank your God, the guy is not a good man.
Notice the different response the alleged victim has after she was coaxed by the two detectives.
There's a video of him breaking something in front of baby Jacqueline, so if you want to use that as well, like for child endangerment.
But the guys, you overhear them ever talk like, hey, this guy's a fucking clown.
No, they never talk bad about him. I feel like some of them actually have feelings for him, so it's just like...
It's sad. He sounds like he could probably go both ways. Well, he needs to continue that in prison. I'm sorry, that guy's just... not a good person, not a good human being. He don't need to be out here.
And I definitely want the best for him, but I just
he needs outside help.
Yeah, right.
But I tell this to a lot of people. You need to come first, okay? And anybody else in there that can be helped needs to come first before him, okay? I mean, you're wanting something good for a guy that's been bad.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, you're right.
You know, you need to make sure you're good.
Yes, absolutely.
All right?
Notice how the two detectives are telling her what to do, similar to Chantel Coleman. Chantel Coleman planted the idea of sexual assault, and the two detectives nursed the idea. Because after he creates this bad atmosphere, Mr. Bishop, he goes back to ask the alleged victim if everything was consensual that night, when she already stated twice that they made love. Detective Gregory Moore asked the alleged victim a total of 6 times if it was consensual. All times will be played. The first time.
So let me real quick go back. When you went back up to say goodbye, he pulled you into another room and he had sex. Was that consensual?
Why would he ask if it was consensual when she already stated twice that they made love? Let's continue.
I don't know how to explain if it was consensual.
The second time.
Like,
is it something you wanted?
I just let it happen, if that makes sense.
The third time.
Did you tell him no at any point?
Yeah. I told him like, no, I want to go, but he was just like, do you really want to go? And I start crying. So I don't really know how to explain that.
The fourth time.
Based on what you were telling me, it was something that you weren't wanting, correct?
Yeah, at the time, because I really wanted to go, and a part of me just gave it to him because I did, still care for him.
The fifth time.
Did you ever tell him at some point no?
Yeah, I'm like, no, and he's like, do you really want to go? And I looked him in his eyes.
And I understand.
Notice that when the alleged victim was about to get into the intimate moment she had with Mr. Bishop, Detective Gregory Moore cut her off.
I understand what you're saying. Is at some point you just relented and it happened.
The sixth time.
Yeah.
But did you acknowledge the fact that you didn't want to be there, you didn't want this?
Yes, I did.
He asked her if she acknowledged that she didn't want to be there. She says yes, but remember she said that truly in her heart she wanted to stay.
And so that's what happened, and I just calculated how to move forward in the rising, getting out, sneaking out.
Notice the alleged victim states she calculated in the rising, getting out, and then quickly changed getting out to sneaking out.
So that's what happened, and I just calculated how to move forward in the rising, getting out, sneaking out.
Again, notice what the alleged victim says and what the detectives made it out to be. The alleged victim uses words like, we make love, he made love to me, I gave it to him. Whereas the detectives say, he's not a good man, he should continue in prison, without you, we have nothing. Not only did these detectives coax the alleged victim into pressing charges, they also wrote false case notes, affidavit, and arrest warrant to have Mr. Bishop arrested.
To begin, let's look at the discrepancies in the case notes. These statements are all filled with little white lies. We will be focusing on the most important one to prove that this case was done maliciously. On the second line, it reads, she stated she continued to tell him she wanted to leave and he became irate. In none of the interviews did she ever describe Mr. Bishop as irate. As a matter of fact, she said that he would never treat her badly.
So I was going to go upstairs to go to Baba G. Queen Malia comes out and tells me to go back downstairs. And I'm just like, Baba G would have never treated me like this. Y'all bitches just jealous.
Really? And this is throughout the whole documentation. Words that are put in there that are never said by the alleged accuser herself. These words were put in there in order to gain an arrest warrant. The next point is on the 4th line. It reads, "She continued to ask to leave and began crying." The detectives worded to make it seem like the accuser is in danger, but let's play back what she actually says.
I hug him and he says, "I love you." And I said, "I love you too." That's when he started taking me into the other room and I started crying in his arms.
That doesn't sound like she's in danger to me. That sounds like a romantic conversation between two consenting adults. The next point is also on the 4th line. Reading, she stated, Mr. Bishop began to attempt to have sex with her and she told him no, but he continued. Again, here's what she says.
Then he made love to me. He's looking me in my eyes and telling me this and that and third. We made love.
And yeah, we did make love in that moment.
Why wasn't a proper and thorough investigation initiated at that moment? It seemed as though the detectives wanted to incarcerate Mr. Bishop so badly that they began to make up their own arrest warrant. They even failed to order a rape kit. The next point is on the 5th line, reading, she stated they made love because she didn't want to fight him off any longer. Let's play the interview.
A part of me just gave it to him because I did, still care for him.
What she actually says is she gave it to him because she still has feelings for him, not because she was tired of fighting him off. Now we're going to expose the inconsistencies in the arrest warrant. In the arrest warrant, it describes a situation completely different from the alleged accuser's actual statements. It uses words like forcibly and against her will to criminalize Mr. Bishop. It continues to read, he forced himself in her. How is this even possible when she only described it as lovemaking? The detectives also put this in the affidavit. Again, they say that he pulled her in the room.
He pushed me, he let me into the other room, led me into the other room.
The detectives wrote that she told him no multiple times, but he kept pursuing. The lies continue.
These detectives didn't do a proper investigation. They were one-sided because they never asked the people who were actually there that night any questions. Here's what happened.
I remember them pulling up on us. They detain all of the women. They leave all of the women inside. They take our chief and the guys and they have them outside, sitting on the ground, handcuffed. All I remember is they detained us. We went down to the police station. They questioned me and they questioned Zoka. They asked me, did he do anything to you? And I told him, I'm not talking to you. Y'all the ops. And then they goes to say, they asked me, what would you do without him? And I said, I would do the same thing I'm doing right now. They walked me down the hall, and then the sister's boyfriend was waiting at the end of the hall in this other room. And Detective Moore and Detective Panosium asked me, we have someone you want to talk to. Do you want to talk to him? And I said, I don't know this person from a can of paint. No, I don't want to talk to this person. So I goes outside and he follows me outside. And I said, sir, I don't want to talk to you. First of all, why do y'all have us down at the police station? And why did y'all detain us? Y'all didn't ask us anything about the supposedly incident that happened that night, which nothing haven't happened. We get back to the house. They have the arrest warrant on the table waiting for us. And we like, what's going on? Where's Chief? Like, where's our king? Where's Poppy? Why they have him still there? And why did they bring us back? So come to find out, lied on our king saying he raped her. And she told the police this. And so the police never questioned us, never asked us anything about that night. The day I remember is I told her to go back downstairs. None of that happened, because if it would have happened, I would have told y'all ain't nothing that happened.
At the beginning, when the police come to the door and we're like, what's going on? They separated us, put the men outside. We're surrounded by officers.
I said to the officers, we want to go outside with our family. We don't know what's going on. We want to go out with our family. They said, no, you can't. I said, what? We want to go outside. They said, no. I said, well, what will happen if we go outside? They said, you're going to be arrested. I said, arrested for what? Obstruction of justice. So I said, okay, I left it alone. So Detective Gregory Moore walked over to us and Queen Malia and starts asking her, what's your name? And start asking her questions. I said, no, hold on. First of all, what is going on here? And why are you coming in here asking who people are? So he steps back, he looks at me, he goes, with a very, very loud and mean voice, he says, her, right there. He points at me. I said, what was that? And he walks out the door. They come back in the house. They say, okay, here's what's gonna happen. You guys are going down to the station and we're going to be asking you guys some questions. So everybody get your stuff and let's go. So we all gathered our things and we went down. Each of us rode in a separate police car. And we're asking, where's Chief? Where is he? He's already at the police station. So when I get there, they put me in a room. It was the last door to the right, the last door at the hallway. They stuck me in this room. So I'm standing there for a long time. I'm like, what is going on? Detective Gregory Moore walks in. He says, you Portia Wade? I said, yes. He said, do you want some water and something to eat? I said, no, I want to know why we in here. So then he says, we're going to tell you right now. And he walks out. 15 minutes pass, 30 minutes pass. I'm still waiting. Nobody's coming in. Nobody's answering. I'm asking people constantly, what are we doing here? Are we going to be asked questions? They keep saying no. Why you guys never asked us anything? We were there. My name is in the interview. Y'all never asked me nothing. So I thought it was kind of weird. And now 2 years gone past, still no evidence. Still holding him behind bars. Still haven't questioned us. 2 years.
I remember we were just listening to music, having a good time, and then out of nowhere, boom, 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 banging on the door. And we're like, okay. They broke the door open in the back. So we're like, yo, like, we're good. We don't have any weapons. We're not causing any harm. Everything's okay. So the police, they came in there, they took the men outside. They were all outside arrested, sitting down, we seen them. And they had all the women lined up on the wall in the house. We were all lined up. And we were waiting, told us to sit down and be quiet. They told us to be quiet and wait. So the police are very immature. While we're waiting, they're banging on the table, doing beats on the table while we're sitting there waiting, talking about soccer games, and it was very unprofessional. And we continue to ask them, well, why are y'all here? You know, y'all came into our home, broke down our door. Y'all told us to sit on the wall quiet while y'all talking about a soccer game. Do you want a Snicker being on our table? We're just very confused. And so after a while, I would say an hour and 30 minutes, a detective comes in the house, like looking around like, oh yeah, we have Eligio's picture sitting on the table. The detective comes in, takes the picture, lays it flat on his face, so his picture is face down. And at that point, we knew that this was something corrupt going on, because first of all, they didn't tell us why they were here. How they came was very unprofessional, and the fact that he had put Eligio's pictures down, we knew that they had a personal feelings outside of their job, outside of, you know, their job of investigating and protecting the community. They had a personal feeling toward Eligio. So at that point, we knew something was wrong. They had a whole bunch of police cars. We lived in a cul-de-sac. They had police cars lined all the way up the street. Everybody had an individual police car. Everybody got into the police car individually, and they drove us all to the police station. No one ever came, asked us any questions. After that, they say, okay, you can go now. They escort me out. They took us back to the house in the police cars, and we came back. The house was destroyed. It was nasty. They left our door open. We came in there and we had to clean up. We seen the warrant on the table, shocked at the charges, because we all know that, and there's proof that there was never none of that. We made it very clear that there was no rape or false imprisonment. Now, what about these other charges? Prohibition on nude or sexually explicit transmissions. We are already aware from Malicious Prosecution Part 1 that the alleged victim consented to making the videos and was fully aware of what we were posting on Twitter. Now, as far as posting the videos, the women posted the videos. We posted the videos because we are in the videos. We have always posted on Mr. Bishop's social media, which is why it's been up and running these 21 months he's been incarcerated. Eligio Bishop has trial coming up February 20th, 2024. It is very imperative that we continue to talk about the corruption in his case and hold these criminals responsible for all the lies that they pursued to get him incarcerated. If you know how to help in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. Our contact information will be listed in the following clip. Thanks for watching. Release the 3. Eligio Bishop is exonerated from all charges. The criminals responsible for this malicious prosecution. Don't let these people get away with their crimes. First, we have Gregory Moore, Detective of DeKalb County Police Department. Monica Panosian, Detective of DeKalb County Police Department. Tabitha Pazmino, Head Prosecutor who relies on online critics for information. And last but not least, Chantel Coleman, aka The T, sends false information to the DA and harasses Mr. Bishop constantly. These people need to be investigated, talked about, and brought forward for justice. Please report these people of their crimes and help us spread awareness to this situation to free Eligio Bishop, an innocent man. Thankful.